On July 28th in Kyiv, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Kyiv Patriarchate undertook its annual celebration of the anniversary of the Christianization of Rus Ukraine, a blessed event that took place in the year 988. Some 10,000 faithful took part in a celebratory Mass at St. Volodymyr Cathedral, and then marched in a procession of the cross, Kresna Khoda, through the streets of Kyiv, to the monument of Prince Volodymyr the Great, the Christianizer of Kyiv and Rus Ukraine. During the prayer service at the foot of the monument, in the presence of representatives of the Patriarchate of Constantinople, President of Ukraine Petro Poroshenko and Filaret, the head of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Kyiv Patriarchate, made an appeal for the creation of one united, independent Ukrainian Orthodox Church. The Pan-Orthodox Council, convened earlier in June on the island of Crete, did not deal with this issue, although an official appeal had been made by the Supreme Council of Ukraine. Filaret explained that this was because the decision to grant autocephaly for the Ukrainian Orthodox Church is at the sole discretion and competence of Patriarch Bartholomew of Constantinople, and will eventually be decided by him personally. However, this process seems to be already underway. President Poroshenko announced that the Patriarchate of Constantinople has created a special committee to look into the Supreme Council's appeal for autocephaly for the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. One day earlier, on July 27th, a different celebration of the anniversary of Christianization was organized in Kyiv by the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate, which opposes autocephaly and supports a church structure led by Moscow. This celebration came at the end of that patriarchate's own procession of the cross, two pilgrimages that proceeded from opposite parts of Ukraine to Kyiv, from two monasteries of the Moscow Patriarchate, the Sviatohirsk Monastery in eastern Ukraine and the Pochayu Monastery in western Ukraine. According to the Security Service of Ukraine, among these peaceful pilgrims were also provocateurs, interested in causing disruption and bloody conflicts. This situation posed a true test for the new Ukrainian police force, similarly as the Kyiv Pride event had done in June. And again, the police undertook and completed their duties effectively and professionally. No major incidents took place. This is largely due to the identification and arrest by the police of provocateurs, among whom at one point explosive devices were found and had to be neutralized. In the end, this dual procession of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate concluded peacefully. The Moscow Patriarchate has widely claimed that 100,000 faithful took part in its procession and prayer service, but the Ukrainian police counted around 11,000 participants. When confronted with this discrepancy, Zoryan Shkiryak from the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine stated that the many journalists in attendance and witnesses to the event can attest to the general number of participants. According to analysts, one of the main objectives of the Procession of the Cross organized by the Moscow Patriarchate was to undermine attempts at autocephaly for the Ukrainian Orthodox Church by demonstrating to Bartholomew that there is seemingly division among its faithful. Russia has stripped the annexed Crimea of its autonomy status. On July 28th, President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, by presidential decree, dissolved the Crimean Federal District, which was created right after Russia's annexation of the Crimea in 2014. The Crimea has now become a small constituent part of Russia's vast southern federal district, the capital of which is Rostov-on-Don. The decree nebulously states that this was done for more effective implementation of federal government policies. At the opening of a photo exhibition dealing with the Crimeans, entitled "Those Who Vanished Without a Trace or Died During the Occupation of the Crimea by the Russian Federation," the head of the Crimean Tatar Mejlis, Mustafa Jamilov, and the representative of the Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs protested the repealing of Crimean autonomy and suggested that this was done for the purpose of circumventing the effects of Western sanctions against the Crimea. Thus, they called on Western nations to extend the sanctions meant for the Crimea against the entire southern federal district of Russia in order for them to remain effective. I'm Tania Stech, and this was Ukraine in the News.